You want to hear me talk about music?
No.
Okay. Do you want to hear me talk about music?
No.
Okay.
That's why she
Can you pause that?
And I wanted to give her
Can you
the
pause that?
No!
Pause it.
story and let.
Do you want to hear me talk
No.
about? Do you want to hear me? Do you want to hear
No.
me? Let me say the question. Do you want to hear me talk about music?
No.
It seems as though nobody wants to hear me talk about music. It's a good thing I have a loyal YouTube fan base who is now 25 subscribers strong. You see that? Yeah. And I know every single one of you want to hear about my favorite albums of the year. Right? Right? Well, if you do, you clicked on the right video. 2021 was a phenomenal year for music because we all got a lot of everything. I mean, we got a Kanye and a Drake album in the same year, and that was just the tip of the iceberg. I listen to so many good artists and EPs and albums and songs that before I get into my main list, I gotta talk about the people that didn't make it. I didn't listen to a lot of popular projects like from Billie Eilish, Olivia Rodrigo, or Giveon, but I heard good things about them. I did listen to projects from Logic, Amine, Young Thug, Migos, and a bunch of other mediocre albums, but they sucked, so they didn't make the list. Also, Nirvana re-released their Nevermind album like a month ago, but that doesn't count because it's a re-release of an album, even though I did listen to a criminal amount of Nirvana this year. Finally, I would like to say that this is a personal list, not an objective one. The way I determine where the albums rank is based off of how much I enjoyed them as an entire project, not song by song. And if you disagree with my opinion, you're a buffoon that shouldn't be allowed to speak. Now that we got that out of the way, let's get into the best albums and EPs of 2021. Coming in at number 40, we have Trippie Redd's Trip at Night. All the songs on here kind of blend together into an amalgamation of blaring synths and screechy vocals, but there are some standout tracks in here like Miss the Rage with Playboi Carti. Solar Power by Lorde has a pretty nice vibe throughout, and Mood Ring is a fantastic song. But when you compare it to her old album Melodrama, well, it belongs in there. Do you get it? It belongs in the trash because it's garbage. Solar Power by Lorde, compared to her last album, is garbage because Infinite Granite by Deafheaven is practically an album of white noise, but it has some really ethereal tracks and a beautiful overall vibe that I can really get behind. And if that sounds like your speed, then check out the song Great Mass of Color. TK Mazda is amazing at blending together elements of pop, hip-hop, and R&B. And her latest EP last year was Weird Volume 3 is a fantastic example of this. Eden, the opening track, is one of my favorite opening tracks of the year. Although, when you compare it to her last EP, it kinda sounds like garbage. Our Extended Play is the newest EP from Beabadoobie, and it's only 3 tracks, but it's short and very, very sweet. The opening track, Cologne, is easily one of my favorite tracks of the year. I like it so much, I hear it every time I put on actual cologne. It's starting to become a problem. I think I need serious help. Please help. JPEGMAFIA's EP2 is a sequel to his previous EP called EP, and it's a prelude to his following LP called LP. That doesn't make any sense, but just listen, alright? I'm glad he's able to delve into R&B elements on this batch of tracks, and it's a great listen, especially the track Fix Yourself, which is extremely catchy. Don Toliver's album Life of a Don proves that his dreamy hip-hop sound can find commercial success in an album format rather than just spread out hit singles. Speaking of hit singles, the song with his girlfriend Kali Uchis called Drugs and Hella Melodies is a sweet-sounding banger. Go check it out if you haven't. Yves Tumor makes this new wave experimental rock that I really mess with, and his newest EP is just more of that epic sound. Scary Hours 2 is Drake making very Drake-like music, but I mean that in a good way this time, and Lil Baby just crushes it on Wants and Needs. 24K Golden makes this generic kind of pop rap that once you start listening to it, you can't really stop. It's like the music industry genetically engineered him to make this infectious, parasitic music that digs itself into your ear canal, and you beg for it to stop. You beg and you pray, you try anything to get it out your head, and it just doesn't get out. The song The Top is very catchy. The best way to describe this J. Cole project is underwhelming. I mean, it has great production, great bars, but none of the songs stand out, except that surprise 21 Savage feature on My Life. Woo! That was great. This European rock album is loaded with fun, re-listenable, bombastic rock music. The best song off of It Won't Always Be Like This is probably It Won't Always Be Like This. And I really felt it when they said, it won't always be like this. Whew, that was just genius for me. I learned about Bladee from TikTok under the pretense that his music was very hard to get into, which was kind of true. It took a couple of listens of The Fool for it to really start to click, but once it starts to click, it starts to click. I mean, it's filled to the brim with this awesome techno hip-hop, and if that sounds like your style, then listen to the song Trendy first. I think it's his most accessible one. Why hello, you've caught me loading my very real pistol while listening to Comethazine's latest album, and as I listen, I just become overcome with the feeling to commit gang-affiliated crime. That's because Comethazine the album by Comethazine is loaded with trap bangers that make you want to pull up on the block and let the Draco do the talking. Transitioning from gangster trap music to feminine hyperpop, we have the album To Hell With It by Pink Panthers. Now, to say the song Pain is the best song is a fair statement, but it's by a very small margin because most of the songs on here are beautiful pop and hip-hop fusion pieces, and you mix that with Pink Panthers' amazing falsetto voice, you have a batch of unforgettable tracks. Dude, read the subtitle. It's Lil Nas. He doesn't miss. Next album, please. This album by St. Vincent has jazz, country, and techno-pop influences, which I know sounds awful, alright? Don't click away, but just listen to this next part, alright? The best song off of Daddy's Home is probably Daddy's Home, and I really felt it when she said, Daddy's Home. Woo! That was just genius for me. The underground British rapper Ashbeck dishes out mellow bars over 6 fantastic tracks that I can listen to when I'm in any sort of mood. It's a really solid EP. And my favorite song is the opening track, Paradise Intro. It might be one of my favorite opening tracks of the year. I think I said that now 3 times, that thing about the opening tracks, but I'm gonna just keep saying it, I don't care. I feel like the band Remember Sports makes country music, but that can't possibly be true because I don't have the sudden urge to throw up in my mouth and then swallow it back down whenever I hear their music. The album Like a Stone provides sweet strumming guitars and somber vocals, and the song Eggs is a fantastic show of what the band's capabilities are. Doja Cat needs no introduction, alright? Her songs on this album are all songs we've heard on the radio before, but where the album has problems is the space in between the good songs, because there's a lot of filler in there, which is why it doesn't quite make my top 20, it's at the 21st spot instead. But there's still some great songs like You Right with The Weeknd, that one's my personal favorite. I actually met Doja Cat once. You don't believe me? Well, if I was lying, then the video would cut abruptly in the middle of my story, but I'm not gonna lie. I was in a sauna in New Amsterdam when she... Starting off the top 20, we have Clairo's mystical album, Sling. Her groovy, upbeat song, Amoeba, is an instant classic in her already stacked discography. You know, I actually met Clairo. I don't know what a parquet court is, but I do know that Parquet Courts, the band, put out a great, punky kind of rock album this year called Sympathy for Life, and if that kind of sounds like your speed, then you should listen to the song Homo Sapien. Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak. Need I say any more? Right on the borderline of newest and most talented artists lives a rapper named Baby Keem. His latest album, The Melodic Blue, draws heavy inspiration from Kanye West's album 808s and Heartbreak, and that's my favorite album of all time, so clearly you can see why The Melodic Blue is this high on the list. Please, listen to the song Family Ties featuring Kendrick Lamar if you haven't already. Japanese Breakfast makes music I can both fall asleep to and sing my heart out to, which is a fantastic dichotomy for any artist to have. And her latest album, Jubilee, is no different. If you don't believe me, listen to the song Kokomo, Indiana. It's a fantastic listen. Here comes the best part. If you listen to the song Legacy by Spelling and you aren't transported to another musical dimension, first off, you're lying to yourself, and secondly, I never want to speak to you again. This album is fantastic, this song is fantastic, listen to it now. Willow Smith has taken an artistic leap of faith on their latest album, Lately I Feel Everything, and it has really paid off for them. This album is punk rock in the best way imaginable, and it has perfect songs like Naive and Gaslight with Travis Barker. MARINA has successfully made the most thematic pop album I've ever heard. Ancient Dreams in a Modern Land illustrates themes like environmentalism and feminism, but it doesn't come off as preaching to you, it comes off as I'm warning you. These things are happening and they're gonna keep happening unless you do something about it. The song Man's World is catchy and sad. It makes you wanna dance, it makes you wanna cry. Marina's tugging at my heartstrings, what's she doing to me? The album Certified Lover Boy hurts me. This is Drake making very Drake-like music in a bad way. When I first heard it, I hated all of it. But now I listened to it a bit more, and over the year, I was able to, it grew on me, you know? And now I like it. I actually like it a lot. That's why it's this high. Unfortunately, all the good songs are rummaged between filler about Drake talking about his son or starting some stupid rap beef. But if you can sit through that, then you'll find some amazing pop rap songs with some of the biggest names in the industry. Starting off the top 10, we have Let Me Do One More by Illuminati Hotties. I'm gonna be honest, this album is pretty country, and some of the songs sound like they belong in an Old Navy commercial. But if you give it a chance, I guarantee you will find a song in here that you love. If you want to start off with a great one, start off with UVVP featuring Buck Meek. That'll put you in a musical trance. When Call Me If You Get Lost by Tyler, the Creator was announced and the album rollout started, I was expecting the greatest album of all time. And I didn't quite get that, but I still got a fantastic album nonetheless. It has electric features, sensational beat switches. I mean, it's practically perfect. Also, Youngboy's in it, and Youngboy's the greatest rapper of all time. I mean, he's the savior of the modern rap game. Free Lil Top. I don't know whose idea it was to combine heavy metal with dream pop aesthetics, but let me tell you, this album Glow On just works, and Turnstile is now one of my favorite bands, period. The song Underwater Boy is a magical first time listen, so I'm telling you right now, drop what you're doing, including listening to me talk, pause the video, tap the little thing in the screen or press the space bar. I don't care what you have to do. Just stop right now, go on Spotify or YouTube or whatever application you use to listen to music and listen to the song Underwater Boy, all caps. Boy is spelled B-O-I for some reason. I don't know why, but just listen to it, please. It's amazing. Faye Webster is a godsend. She masterfully blends what I can only describe as folk music with these dreamy guitar loops. I just never want them to end. The best song on I Know I'm Funny, haha, is A Dream with a Baseball Player. And my only problem with the song and the whole album really is that there isn't more of it. I know what you're thinking. Why are Drake and JPEGMAFIA on the list twice? Well, guess what? Why are Drake and JPEGMAFIA on the list twice? You sound like a baby. That's the first thing. The second thing, JPEGMAFIA is a visionary. He makes and mixes his own beats, then he raps like crazy on them. And this last album, LP, is just more of that same geniusness. The bars are insane. The beats are gnarly. If you like experimental hip-hop and you haven't heard anything from JPEGMAFIA, check your P.O. box, dog, because you're living under a rock. To say that Zack Fox is a comedic powerhouse would be an understatement.
It's so hot, I will kick a baby.
Hold on.
What?
When a comedian makes a trap album, it will either be hilariously good or hilariously bad. Either way, it's gonna be hilarious. And in Zack Fox's case, it's hilariously fantastic. The first 5 tracks on Shut the F Up Talking to Me is my favorite track run on any album in this list, period. The songs are just that good. The best song, in my opinion, is Menace, and it's just witty one-liner after witty one-liner, and I'm still understanding some of the bars he said, even though I heard the song months ago, today.
Hanging with my money, talking to it like it's human, nigga. Play me like a square, I spin a block like it's a Rubik's. I just like cartoony bars, man.
Whole Lotta Red came out in 2020, but it came out on Christmas, so it's practically a 2021 album. I'm counting it in here, shut up. When I first heard Whole Lotta Red, I didn't like it at all, but it grew on me throughout the year. I would listen to songs throughout the year on the radio, and I would think, this kind of sounds like Whole Lotta Red. And then I go back to the album and like it a little bit more and a little bit more, and now we're here, and I think the album is revolutionary. I think it's a must listen for all hip-hop fans, and if you listen to the song Sky and you like what you hear, then give the entire album a chance. Please, I implore you to do so. You will not regret it. If you don't believe me, let's ask the internet. Hey Google, is Whole Lotta Red a good album?
On the website medium.com, they say, Whole Lotta Red is by no means an amazing album.
Hey
Nor
Google,
is it a bad
do me a favor and shut the fuck. The raw talent shown by Magdelena Bay on their last album, Mercurial World, leaves me speechless. It is a synth pop masterpiece with literally no skips. The last song is called The Beginning, and the first song is called The End, and the beginning loops into the end, making the entire album a perfect loop. Plus, there's a song in the middle called Halfway, which is really trippy. It talks about time in a really meta way. Plus, all the songs kind of mesh together for a beautiful first-time listen, and I've been telling my dad for months, listen to this album, and he just refuses. So please, don't be like my dad. I'm on my knees right now. Literally, I'm begging you right now. Listen to the album, Mercurial World by Magdelena Bay. You will not regret it. I said I was speechless. That was clearly a speech. I bet you're impressed right now, right? Yeah. You better go listen to that album. Kanye West's Donda is one of the worst albums he's ever made. And it's still this good. 10 out of 10 production, 10 out of 10 performance. It's pretty much the complete Kanye package. And yet, there's still some underlying flaws that I find it hard to communicate. I think for starters, the album seems rushed and incomplete, kind of not very well put together compared to his other projects, which I guess you could say is a metaphor for his crumbling psyche, but that's kind of a stretch. Either way, I really, really enjoyed it, and I put together a little tribute video based off of the album's cover. Here it is. I hope you like it. Do you like it? Well, we made it to the final spot in the list, and for this one, I'm gonna have to read directly off the script. Hope you don't mind. I hated the album rollout for Open Mouth, Open Heart by Destroy Boys. They released 4 singles throughout the year, and it seemed like they were never gonna drop an actual LP until that fateful day in October when they finally dropped their 3rd album. Destroy Boys are at their best on this project. They continue to cultivate a somewhat generic punk rock sound, but somehow are able to bring something new and exciting to every song on the record. Open Mouth, Open Heart has some of the best lyricism I heard all year. Alexia, the lead singer of the band, is fantastic at writing generic lyrics everyone can relate to, but delivering them in a deeply personal way. Songs like Drink and Escape are delivered emotionally, and the best song, Ruins, is catchy and hard-hitting. On every chorus in Ruins, Alexia changes the pronouns of the person that they are singing to. It adds this extra factor of relatability that is present in the entire album, making the album a perfect one. Thank you for watching my stupid ranty video about music while my cousins yelled in the background. Hopefully you didn't hear any of that. As you can see, the lighting changed in the video, and it's actually a metaphor for my spiraling depression in the year 2021. But since I'm very happy right now, guess what we're gonna do? We're gonna make it as bright as possible for this last shot. Whoa, check me out. I'm a directing wizard. Thanks for watching. Catch you on the next video. See you later. I don't have a sign off. I don't have an intro for my channel. Just get out of here.